Escaping the Odds podcast is a movement of freedom in the physical and financial sense. We highlight people who bounce back from prison by switching hustles and a mindset. See, business has always been a part of my DNA. I just went about it the wrong way, which sent me to federal prison for 9 years. I'm bringing y'all dope stories of triumph that's meant to inspire and educate to take you to the next level. And no matter where we come from or come from under, we can set ourselves free and escape the odds. What's up, y'all? Thank y'all for tuning in to Escaping the Odds. I'm your host, Aaron Smith. We got some dope stories for y'all today. Formerly incarcerated men and women who are now entrepreneurs. Let's get it.
It's not opulence, it's not like that.
Thank you all for tuning in to another dope episode of Escaping the Odds podcast, where we interview the formerly incarcerated who are now successful entrepreneurs. And today we got a special guest. I have a young lady out of Charlotte, North Carolina, Miss Portia Thomas, CEO, founder of Opulence Brows Beauty. She has a remarkable story, definitely bounced back from incarceration. And so we'll definitely get a chance to hear her story, where she's from, and pretty much how she got to where she is now. How you doing, Miss Portia?
I am good. Oh my God. I almost just got emotional looking at my the whole little thing. I'm sorry. I just got emotional just now. I'm not gonna cry though. I'm not gonna cry. No worries.
It's all good. It's all good. I know what you mean. A lot of times I look at my promo video and be like, wow, I did that. So
Yes.
I got you on. That was a dope promo. Very
Thank you.
professional. You know what I mean? It's like, and that's what it's all about too, though. You know what I'm saying? Being able to present yourself as a professional, and you're definitely doing that very well. So go get a little bit back into your backstory. You definitely don't look like anyone that spent some time incarcerated. So you did that with grace. You know what I mean? God
I
held
hear
you on
that
that
all
one.
the time.
Yeah, yeah. So absolutely. So first and foremost, where you from?
I am from Charlotte, North Carolina. I was born in Tampa, Florida, but I've been in Charlotte since I was 8. So I'm from Charlotte.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. So what pretty much got you into the system? Because you spent a little bit over 3 years incarcerated in federal prison, and so we can
Mm-hmm.
kind of go into that and kind of talk about that whole experience, and then we'll get into your business that you're in right now. But let the audience kind of know, like what you come from under.
Well, let me just say how it started, because I've always had that entrepreneurial spirit, right,
Mhm.
from a long time ago. And I was in a relationship. The guy that I was dating, he was heavy in the streets. When I left that relationship, because I was with him for like 7 years, and I guess I got accustomed to like a certain lifestyle and working. When I moved back to Charlotte, I was working customer service, sales, or whatever. Those jobs, $10, $11 an hour, wasn't supporting that lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
So I got involved with some people and learned a few things and started, falsifying taxes, and basically just got caught up. Did I get caught like in the act of doing the taxes? No. I was literally driving. They seen two black girls in a rental car. They thought we were trafficking dope. They pulled us over. Although we said you can't search the car, they searched it anyway. Found, a bunch of money as well as the tax cards because of the taxes that I was falsifying. And yeah, so I was sentenced to 45 months and did 38 out of the 45.
Wow. So how did you? This is your first time actually incarcerated, though, correct? Like spending time in prison, right?
That was my first time in prison. I had a few other like charges that didn't warrant me a prison sentence, but I did have a few other charges
Yeah.
which contributed to the 45 months for the theft of government property.
So what was that whole experience? What was that like? Like to be like sentenced to 45 months. That's how, the feds give you their time in months, so they make it seem like it's long. Well, it is long, but they don't say
Mhm.
4 years or 3 years, 9 months or something like that, right? They break it down into months. So take us through that whole experience when you were actually sentenced and you really had the realization like, look, I got to do 3 years and some change in prison.
I wasn't thinking that. Like, I was thinking I was only going to do like a year and a half. I had my mind set up. I'm like, okay, I said that I did drugs, which I did. I was on, did marijuana, but
Right,
my people in my family, they've been down the same road. So they told me what to say and put me up on game to take the program so I can get my credit.
right,
And I'm thinking, I'm just going down there. I'm going to do like a year and a half, knock it out, and come right back home. And that wasn't the plan that the universe had for me.
right.
Um, I did take the program. Unfortunately, I had a whole bunch of setbacks in the program where
Hmm.
I was kicked out of the program right before I graduated and had to end up doing the full term.
Wow.
So initially, I was not thinking I'm about to go and do 36 months. I literally thought I was going to do this year and a half and come back home, and that's just it. Um, but I'm grateful. I'm
Yeah.
grateful for that time.
You know what? You mentioned that particular program, and I took that program too.
Did you
And
get kicked out, or is that how you
no,
got denied?
that's how I got to
Huh?
know. I got sentenced to 12 flat, but
Oh,
I would have had to do 10, 10 5. I ended up doing 9 5. And
okay.
so that program, everybody's trying to get that program, but the thing is, it can be tough. You really got to humble yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because as it sounds like, you probably got kicked out because whatever the reason was, right? But I know that they can test your patience. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like it might be different with men versus women because it was a lot of more cattiness
Okay.
than anything else in that program. That the program, it had its advantages, its benefits. It definitely there were things that helped me with my thinking
Yeah.
process, but as far as why I got kicked out, it was definitely behind some cattiness all
Gotcha.
day.
So speaking of cattiness, right? I can only imagine like women's federal prison or women's prison. It's a lot of cattiness going on. So
Mhm.
how were you able to navigate this whole new system and listening to you like you came from a different kind of a lifestyle? So to be locked up and you're around all walks of life, and that could be good or bad. You know what I mean? You're around people that's like you probably never ever probably even spoke to or even dealt with like that. So how were you able to kind of just not even fit in, but just maintain and navigate that whole situation?
I literally would just stay to myself. And I feel like that is what promoted the cattiness. I didn't let things get to me. I didn't take what people said about me or thought of me seriously. It was just like, I don't know, kind of just whatever. But I really just stayed to myself. I observed everybody. So I
Yeah,
knew who I was going to deal with, who I would have a full-fledged conversation with, and who I would keep at a distance.
right.
And that's just how I got through my time. I definitely just kept it at a distance. I was
Yeah.
very, very observant with who I associated myself with.
So when did that mindset shift happen? Like once they put the cuffs on you, or was it like maybe I was in maybe a year and I'm like, you know what, I can't go back out and do this same kind of stuff again.
Um, well, I definitely wasn't thinking of doing the same thing. Like, even when I had that thought process of only doing a year and a half, I
Yeah.
wasn't thinking of, okay, I'm going to come back out and do the same thing. How I set myself up mentally, it was like, I'm getting ready to go to prison. There's something or somebody that I'm supposed to meet along this journey. And that's what kept me positive and motivated and strong throughout the entire experience. It was like there's something that I'm supposed to get from this.
Yeah.
I knew it was something I was supposed to get, and I believed it with all my heart that this was a part of what I needed to become who I envisioned of becoming.
And what would you say that it was that one thing that you needed to get from your incarceration?
I needed to it was many things, but I needed to just develop myself pretty
Okay.
much. There were, insecurities, there were weaknesses mentally that I had, that I was doing too much and moving too fast and into just a whole bunch of BS where I couldn't really focus on me and who I was and who I wanted to become. I was just doing too much. So sitting down and going through that time, it really helped me develop myself personally. And it was self-reflection. I realized who I was, what I like, what I didn't like, what I will tolerate, what I won't tolerate, where I went wrong in the past as far as starting businesses and them not becoming successful. It was a lot of stuff that I realized.
Okay.
And I grew mentally as well as spiritually during that time.
So with Opulence Brows Beauty, like how did that all start? Like was it something that you thought about while you were incarcerated or once you came home?
So I definitely thought of it while I was incarcerated. I was already thinking of what my plan was going to be, but like a year prior to my release, it was like I got really gun ho with it. It was like, okay, I'm writing out this plan. I took a business planning class. This is what I'm going to do. And initially, the plan was just to come home, open up a beauty bar, and just manage it. I didn't see myself as actually being an employee. I wanted to hire people and just, manage. That was it. So the plan changed a little bit as far as when I came home, but as far as the business structure, what services were going to be involved in that business, that was a plan that, came about before I came home. And I just
Right.
stuck to it when I got here.
Yeah. One of the things that I really like about your business, had a chance to look at the website, then of course talking to you, is like the training aspect of it. I think you get a lot of people that they get into this particular arena of beauty, and it's like they're only actually doing the work themselves, right? Like I haven't seen too many like actually programs where they're going to train you on how to be a professional. I don't want to call it a makeup artist, but maybe minimizing it. But there's someone pretty much that can what would you call that? What you
It's a
actually do?
I mean, it is a permanent makeup artist, permanent
Okay.
makeup technician, whatever, but it's permanent makeup. So it's not something that you would have to do every single day. It's convenience. You get
Right.
up, you pretty much go, and you don't have to worry about filling in your eyebrows or, putting lip plumping cream on your lips every single morning to get a look that you're trying to get. So yeah, I am training other individuals who want to be in that industry to provide those services.
Right. So why go with that business model opposed to just opening up a beauty bar and it's just you in there and maybe even scaling that out, maybe even franchising? Like what was the benefit to you? Because I feel like it was a calculated move, you know what I mean? Just talking to you
Mhm.
pretty sharp. And so what was the thoughts behind that?
Well, you did mention franchising, and that's actually next. I just wanted to throw that out there. But
Yes.
in regards to the permanent makeup, while I was in and I would look at the magazines, for me, beauty bar, it was like hair, nails, that's so like the norm. You know
Okay.
what I mean? So as I'm going through these magazines, I'm seeing the new stuff, the new techniques, the new trends that are out in the beauty industry. And I'm like, permanent makeup, it wasn't something that was so familiar to me. And I could have been, yeah, I've been gone for a little minute, but still beforehand, I didn't know about it. But I
Right.
didn't want the norm. I didn't want that. I wanted something that was going to be a little different. And that's what I have. I don't want to incorporate any hair and nails. You can get that anywhere. With permanent makeup, I'm in the prime area. Charlotte is in the top 5 fastest growing cities. It's like,
Wow.
this is it. This is what we need to do.
Right. Okay. So you mentioned starting a franchise is in the future. So like what does that look like for you when you envision that? What's your thoughts behind that?
There's 40 plus Opulence Brows and Beauty locations worldwide.
Hmm.
Someone who is wanting to start a business, but they want a model that's already formed and created. They just want to follow that model, and it's been proven that it's a success. All they have to do is, get this amount of money, invest into it, and there they go. They have a location and they have a model to go by, and they don't have to do all the footwork that I've already done. All they
Right.
have to do is run it. They go through a training, they run it, they put that money up to
Mhm.
franchise this location, and you get that profit back.
Okay. And so it's an actual brick and mortar as well, right? It's not like an independent, almost like a Mary Kay kind of a thing. It's an actual brick and mortar.
Yeah, not Mary Kay, definitely brick and mortar. Like I don't know, Jimmy John's, McDonald's,
Right, right, for
whatever.
sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Everywhere.
Okay, got you. So what was some of the challenges you dealt with not only just coming home, well for some people, let me take that back. For some people they really don't have a challenge, right? Maybe a little smoother than others, but far as from a business standpoint, because you've already been in business, you're pretty savvy as it relates to that. So what was one of the things you underestimated when you came home as it relates to getting into business?
I didn't underestimate anything. As far as business savvy, like I felt like I was business savvy too beforehand, but I was green to a lot of things. Like it was like starting over for me. Um, I had to start over, and I really didn't know. Like, yeah, I started businesses in the past, but the furthest it would go is creating an EIN number and a website, getting business cards, and that's it. That's like literally it. Nothing past that. No brick and mortar, no, nothing at
Yeah,
all. Where I'm at right now is the furthest and the most successful I have ever been in creating a business and like sticking with it.
right.
So, I would say the most challenging thing for me was um, relaxing and being patient because I can't speak for everyone, but when I came home, it's like you had this time that you served or this time that you gave to the system, and you feel like you have to make up for that time. And it's like an overwhelming feeling because you know what you want to do and you want to stick to it, but you also have to be patient because you're ready to get to it and you're ready to just do everything, but it takes time. It really does, because you have to look for a job first. You have to abide by probation. It's certain steps that you have to take before you can get to where you want to be at.
Right.
And that was the most challenging thing for me. It wasn't challenging as far as where the money was going to come from, because I said I would never think about where the money is going to come from or how I'm going to do it. I'm just going to do it. And that's the best mindset that you can ever have, because when you just focus on what needs to be done, so many doors open up, and the funds come from everywhere.
Yeah.
Opportunities come from everywhere, and you just got to stay focused and not worry about that. So as far as the most challenging, that was really it. being patient and taking it one day at a time, just because I felt like I had to make up for the time that I had lost. Even though it
Right.
wasn't a loss, it was a gain, but subconsciously it felt like a loss.
No, absolutely. And I definitely identify with that because I'm just now learning now to respect the process, because just
Hmm.
coming from a certain lifestyle where in the dope game, well, for some people, you start selling dope one day, you got money the next day. You know what I mean? So it comes quick. And so I had I had to pretty much just like focus, as you said, and not become overwhelmed because I was feeling myself becoming over. I remember literally the day I got out, I was downtown Chicago, and like I had this list of things I had to do. I had to uh because networking was real big for me, right? I was like, okay, I gotta build up my social capital. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm downtown, like, okay, I gotta go here, I gotta go here, I gotta go here. And I was becoming overwhelmed. And I'm like, damn, you know what? Like, you ain't gotta do all this in a week. But in my mind,
Right.
as you said, it's like you on go mode. I've been locked up
Hmm.
all these years and I've got a million business plans and fantasize about the different things I want to do. And so here it was, and it's like I'm ready to rush. And so now I'm learning to kind of like chill, you know what I mean, and kind of let
Yep,
things go as they be. And you said something that was really, really important as well, is that doors will start opening up for you. Um, I'm a
definitely.
testament to that. Like, man, people see your grind, and then because people sit back and watch and see what you're doing. You know what I mean? They may not say
Hmm.
nothing, and then before you know it, you kind of get all kind of support that you need. And so that was a great point of insight, man, for the people that's listening. Whether you formerly incarcerated or anybody just want to start something. So I want to go back a little bit. As you and I both know, like inside of prison, they could be really creative, and I can only imagine with the young ladies as it relates to like beautifying themselves. Like, what was some of the like unique things you seen the young women do in there as it relates to kind of like makeup and just the whole beauty thing?
Um,
And did you
the
get any
most
ideas from that to kind of to put into your repertoire?
the most unique thing that I witnessed as well as did myself was for like makeup. We would, or I would definitely see other women do it, melt down colored pencils and use them for lipstick, eyeshadow, um, roll up the pads, the maxi pads for our periods.
Right,
People would roll them up and put them in their hair so their hair would stay curly. What else? There was nothing that I witnessed that I would use or do within my business right now. Like, it's just not happening.
right,
But it was very, very creative, especially during shows, programs that we would have at the in prison, as well as we called it felt like it was like the club, because on Saturdays and Sundays, those were the days that we took pictures. And it just felt like we would get all dressed up. We would have our altered clothing. We're not supposed to have altered clothing anyways, but you'll find somebody that will alter the clothing with you or for you. And we'll get dressed up with our makeup on, our hair, flat iron our hair, get really, really cute, and just take a bunch of pictures. And it was just like a party. It was like it
yeah,
was our club time. Like, we were going out to the club. And but yeah, that was the most creative thing, melting down those colored pencils and making makeup out of it. They did sell makeup on commissary, but it was only one kind, or only one color, I shall say. So with the colored pencils, you got a variety of colors, and you
right.
could, get really, really creative with it.
Yeah, I can only imagine. But speaking of clothing, right, I want to show you something. And we talked about this before though, but this is something I'm gonna give you. It's Switch Hustles the
Nice.
brand, and so I hope you wear a size small.
Yes, I do. I
Okay,
do
all right.
wear small,
Okay,
extra small in some things, but yes, I'll
okay,
take it.
definitely. Yeah, so this is
Thank
our this is
you.
our motto over here. You know what I'm saying? The Switch Hustles and the mindset. And so I'll get that out to you as soon as possible. So also, is there anything else like we can kind of look forward to with Opulence Brown Beauty? Anything you got planned outside of like the franchise situation? Are you doing any kind of like events? Well, I know it's kind of hard to do events, but any kind of virtual events that's happening?
I am in the process of launching an online training course. I'm already doing the training courses now. The online training course will be launched at the beginning of the year so I can, reach everyone nationwide,
Yeah.
not just, the Charlotte or North Carolina area. And also, a training academy, permanent makeup training academy is definitely in the works. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. I'm not gonna
Right.
go
Right.
too in depth with it, but that's definitely what's next, along with the franchising for
Yeah.
Opulence.
Hey, I love that, and I'm definitely gonna see you at the top for sure. Cause I love the idea just behind like, you know how some people they start a business or whatever, and they really don't think too a little bit deeper into it. But I love the training
Hmm.
aspect of things, and like how you saying that whole academy or whatever, it allows you like to really scale out. You could potentially get like government funding for a program, all that
Definitely.
kind of stuff. And so I love it. I see you. I definitely see you. I see where you're going.
Thank
Um,
you.
yeah. So absolutely. Yeah, that's pretty much that right there. And pretty much, is there any way that we can get a contact with you? I know you got the YouTube or the Instagram and the website, things of that nature. So how could we get to you?
Well, first of all, as far as permanent makeup services, you do have the website, the Instagram, the Facebook, all of that good stuff as far as services. But to continue to see my rise from prison to paradise
There you
and to
go.
continue seeing me and everyone else that's associated with me who's been down the road escape the odds, you
Amen. There
can
you go.
follow me at it's Porscha D Lyte, Dlyte on Instagram. You
Okay,
definitely
perfect.
have to follow me on Instagram.
Perfect. Hey, you know what? I like the prison in paradise. I love that.
Thank you.
I love that. I love that slogan there. So look, if there's anybody that's out there that want to start like, because I'm seeing a lot of people like with the lip gloss stuff. I think that's probably like a easier barrier to kind of get into the game of beauty. But like, what
Mhm.
would you tell them? I mean, I know that's potentially your competition, but we do want to educate on the show. Like, if somebody want to start a whole a beauty line, like how does it work? How should they go about doing that?
Well, first of all, let me just say, okay, when you're getting into any game, there is no competition. The only
Hmm.
competition is yourself and who you
Okay.
were yesterday. Like, I don't see any competition. On top of that, we live in an abundant world. So there's enough out here for all of us to be million and billionaires.
There you
Okay,
go.
just wanted to put that out there.
For sure.
As far as getting into the beauty industry with lip glosses or just whatever you might want to tap into as far as selling, permanent makeup. If you want to get into permanent makeup, definitely go to my website. I will love to train you and help you start or embark on the permanent makeup journey. But as far
Right.
as sales, you really just have to do your research. You have to do a lot of research on vendors and who to deal with. I'm not into the lip gloss, the actual daily topical makeup wear. I'm solely into permanent makeup, so I can only direct you there to take a training class with me.
Right.
Um, but as far as sales and products and stuff like that, you just really have to do your research. The Google is my best friend. So get on Google, research, try out different vendors. You have to try the products yourself. Don't just see something and be like, okay, I'm going to sell that. Try out the products. It's very, very important for you to be like 100% hands on and being like your first customer. You have to be your first customer. And that's really all I could recommend as far as like the products.
Okay. Far as permanent makeup products, like what is that? We didn't really get too much into that. Like, what are some of those services that you do offer product with permanent makeup? Because some people may not know what permanent makeup was. I was surprised to even know that there was a, there was a such thing as permanent makeup. So
Yes, definitely. Permanent makeup. So, at Opulence Brows and Beauty, we offer eyebrow enhancements. The eyebrow enhancements are basically for women and men who lack eyebrow hair, because as you age, your brows, they do thin out. You may have overplucked, overwaxed, stress, just whatever thins your brows out. They may not be, how you want them to be, as thick as you want them or the shape that you want them. So we offer 3 different eyebrow enhancements that will provide you a shape that you want and love, and it lasts for up to 2 years. And that's just for the eyebrows. And like I said, it's men and women that do this, predominantly women, but there are men who once had thick eyebrows or maybe going through alopecia, went through some type of chemotherapy. This is the same for women as well, that just, want those full fluffy brows back. And it's a natural effect. And then even if you didn't want the natural effect, you just wanted that made on look permanently, so you don't have to do your brows every day.
yeah.
That's what the permanent eyebrow enhancements are for. So you don't have to touch your brows at all. And we
Okay.
also offer lip enhancements as well, a natural lip color.
Like Botox.
Botox, no.
Okay.
It's different than Botox. The lip enhancements, I do enhance the lips and make them more plump, right? But there's no needles involved with that service. So there's no needles involved with the lip plumping service. And then on top of that, if you have a discoloration in your lips, which, is very common for African American women to have a discoloration, I correct that as well. And for, Caucasian and Asian women who just want more definition because they don't really have that much, that's where the lip blushing enhancement comes in at. So, and that lasts up to 2 or 3 years. So this
Okay.
is like a whole bunch of convenience for anyone that's like into their appearance and just don't want to put that time and effort into their lips or their eyebrows every morning.
Right. Have you found that, like, far as in the African American community, that the women are kind of leaning more towards like the permanent makeup? Because I'm trying to remember, like, when I was coming up, like, I'm gonna go back 10 years, like, and when I came home, I started noticing like all these big old uh eyelashes. Um, yeah, it was like it was extra. You know what I mean? Like even with the eyebrows, like I really didn't see a lot of us doing that. And so what do you think happened with that? Like I have my theory, but what's tell me with
As
that?
far as the like caterpillar eyelashes
Yeah, that's what they
and
call caterpillar.
I mean, because I'm not really into that. I feel like it's a trend.
Right.
It's just a trend right now. And you see it on a lot of social media influencers or just whatever the case may be. And a lot of the younger generation is following that trend. So I feel like that's what it is. It's in the same for like the Angry Bird kind of eyebrows or whatever. It's like a trendy thing. I've had clients, even African American women that have come to me and requested an eyebrow shape or color that's just not flattering to their face. So they're either trying to follow a trend or they're just not educated as far as what should fit their face. They just don't know. They're ignorant to it. And it takes a
Okay.
professional to advise them of what works for them or what will work. And that's where Opulence Brows and Beauty comes in at.
No, absolutely. And so that may be the answer to my next question, Portia. What makes Opulence Brows Beauty different from XYZ Beauty or whatever?
What makes Opulence Brows and Beauty different is the passion that is behind this company. Okay. There are many other companies out there, but the passion that's behind it is just, it's a different type of passion, right? Um, the passion that's in it is, it comes from all of the odds that are stacked against, you know, the owner, myself, okay? Because not only did I come home to start a business, I'm a woman, I'm an African American woman, and on top of that, I am a felon. So when you have those odds stacked against you, it makes you go harder in that passion. It's like I got a lot to prove. And it's not like a lot to prove to society. It's a lot to prove to myself. You know what I mean? So that passion to get it done, that passion to bring it to fruition and accomplish those goals and those dreams, it's a different type. It's a different type of struggle. It's not even, there's no comparison. So on top of that passion, with my professionalism, with, you know, my focus and my dedication, it's just, there's no comparison. That's just what separates and will always separate Opulence from the next company, is because of that passion that's tied to it.
No,
So
absolutely. I love it though. Do you believe that branding, that's all a part of your branding as well? Like the passion and the whole reputation behind, like even the whole lifestyle. You say a prison or paradise, like I could kind of see that kind of attached to this brand.
well, with Opulence Brows and Beauty, yeah, it can be attached to the brand. You wouldn't be able to tell just by looking at it though, but
Right.
it's definitely attached to it, you know,
About
what's the word?
lifestyle.
As far as the lifestyle, as far as, yeah, it's definitely attached to it for sure. But yeah, with Prison of Paradise, like you would only see that if you follow my personal page. But when it comes to Opulence Brows and Beauty, you would never have any idea that the person that's running this company is a felon, for one, for two, Black. Okay, because there is a stigma, there's a stereotype when it comes to African American businesses. And I've had many clients that are African American. And once they find out that I'm the owner, they would commend me because there's a stereotype behind African American businesses. And they literally thought that it was a Caucasian or Asian owner, not an African American one. So yeah, I totally forgot what the question was and
It's all
where I
good.
was
You did.
going with
No,
it.
no, you all good. You did that.
I
You
think it
good.
was your phone that threw me off.
Hey, hey, it was all that passion. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there you go. It was
Uh,
that passion coming out. I just got side. I was like, okay, I got
right,
lost up in it.
right. No, it's all good. So one thing you don't shy away from, of course, is your past. I've come across s- several people, that they don't want to talk about that. You know what I mean? They kind of want to keep that hidden, and that's something that I knew that when I came home was part of my calling. You know what I'm saying? Like to turn
Mhm.
my pain into my purpose. Even having this podcast idea back in 2015 and creating a whole brand around it that's going to expand beyond just a podcast. And so I commend you on that. Just being able, because again, looking at you and the way you even with business, carrying yourself in such a way with professionalism, a person they're not going to think that you spend time incarcerated. You know what I'm saying? And so um, some people will kind of keep it there and hide that, but I like the way that you let people know what's happening. You know what I mean? Your past, because that may be inspiring someone else, and so that's how I look at it. And so kudos
Definitely.
to you on that one.
I would
Um,
never hide that. Never. Like, I can't stress it enough. Now, granted, I don't meet people and be like, yeah, I was incarcerated or whatever like that. Like it has to, the conversation has to flow. I definitely throw it out there and put it out there on my personal page, but it's not just like the first line of introduction. But I will never, ever shy away from it because I grew when I was gone. I became the best me, and I'm still growing. I'm still
mhm.
becoming better, but who I became from that prison sentence, I will never shy away from that or regret it or be quiet about it ever. So just had to put that out there.
Right. Like period, right?
Period.
Right.
Yes. For real.
No, hey, look, Portia, thank you for coming on. I really enjoyed our time. Really educated me on the beauty industry as a whole.
Mhm.
So I'm definitely good looking on that. So yeah, so you already gave up your contacts and everything like that. Is there anything else you want to add? Um, we gonna rock away with that.
Well, thank you for having me, first and foremost. And for any and everybody listening, looking, whatever the case may be, do not ever, ever, ever give up. Ever. Believe, believe, believe. Don't stop believing and just don't never give up. I promise. What you will accomplish from not giving up will be like so worth it. So worth it. I promise. And
You
that's
know,
it.
hey, I'm glad you said that because this podcast is gonna be heard and I think it reaches like 30,000 people in the prisons. And so
Yes.
somebody will be definitely hearing it and seeing it. So definitely thank you for that. If you want to catch the podcast anywhere else, Spotify, Apple, YouTube channel, iHeartRadio, Anchor, escapingodds.com. This is Will Replay. Facebook, Instagram, I am Aaron Smith, Escaping the Odds podcast on IG. And yeah, every Tuesday, new episode drops. We got merchandise now, Switch Hustles. So yeah, that's where we at. And so continue to support, like, share, comment, and follow Miss Portia. She doing big things, and we'll see you at the top, like I said.
Definitely.
All right. Okay, take care though. And hey, I got to get this shirt out there to you too. So we'll connect after all this, so I can get all that to you.
All right. That sounds good.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Yep.